In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bet slate for Wednesday, April 10th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Wednesday, April 10th slate we got going on for our NBA bets here. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. We're going to talk about that very, very soon. But right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel. 3.54 thousand subscribers. Our goal is 10K. Let's continue to push forward. I appreciate you guys each and every day. You guys are coming in by the numbers, by the tons. All right. So you guys are killing it right now. Continue to do what you're doing. If you're already subscribed, like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm push me out to a broader audience so I can keep giving you these winning free picks. All right. So the proof is in the pudding in that comment section down below. I keep getting great comments from everyone. I appreciate all of you guys. I'm wanting to help. All right. I'm in this journey with you guys each and every day, going up against the sports books each and every single day. All right. Now, for the Patreon, we hit on our community parlay. I posted Yankees, Braves, Dodgers, put a little $20 on that. That came through. So if you want winning picks, if you want winning parlays, sign up for the Patreon. We have a great community that we're building right now. All right, sign up for that Patreon. That link is provided down below. Remember, if you're not subscribed right now, click that subscribe button right this second. First game up for our Wednesday slate here, Charlotte Hornets 19-60 going up against the Atlanta Hawks here 36-43. The current odds for this game here, we have the Atlanta Hawks as home favorites here, minus 650 on the money line with the comeback of the Charlotte Hornets at a plus 475. The point spread is at 11.5 on both sides, and the total is set at 218.5. For the public bet percentage here, we have 93% of the bets. Well, just move. 92% of the bets, 86% of the money towards Atlanta. For the point spread, 57% of the bets, 65% of the money towards the Hornets to cover. And we have, for the total, 91% of the bets, 85% of the money towards the over 218.5. All right. For the injury report here, Seth Curry, Cody Martin, don't need to worry about them. They're out for the year. Omari Bailey is questionable for this game. For the Atlanta Hawks, the only guy you need to worry about is Jalen Johnson. He is questionable for this game. All right. These two teams have played already. If we're going at their previous matchups, this is their fourth and final matchup so far. The Hawks are behind the Charlotte Hornets here 2-1. They trail in this series. What we're going to be going with here, the totals in these three games, 226, 221, and 223. So pretty solid and high totals, all above the current total that it is right now. And both of these teams are coming in off no rest. They played on Tuesday. This is a no rest situation. They're going to play again on Wednesday. So if we're looking at over-under numbers with no rest, the Hornets are 9-5 towards the over, and for the Atlanta Hawks with no rest, they're 8-6 towards the over. So I'm loving the total points here of over 218.5. Give me the over in that. And for the cover, all right, for the cover, which spread are we going to choose? Because there's no value in taking the Hawks on the money line. Give me the Hornets plus 11.5. They have dominated this series against the Atlanta Hawks all year long. And I think that is way too many points for the Atlanta Hawks here to cover versus a team versus a division rival here that they've been struggling with. If we're looking at against the spread with no rest, the Charlotte Hornets are 9-5. 9-5 against the spread with no rest. And for the Atlanta Hawks, they are 5-9. The total opposite. They do not cover spreads here. So 11.5 for the Charlotte Hornets and the over 218.5. Next game we have a top tier matchup. Minnesota Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets. This is the battle for the 1 and 2 spot here. As you're looking at the West Coast standings right here, Minnesota has a half-game lead above the Denver Nuggets here, with the OKC Thunder right behind them as well. So it's a very crucial game for both teams here. Minnesota Timberwolves 55-24, Denver Nuggets 55-24, with the same exact record, which is crazy. That's crazy. So for the odds right now, Denver Nuggets minus 225 as home favorites, with the comeback of the Minnesota Timberwolves at a plus 185. The point spread is at a 5.5 for both sides, with the over-under set at 213.5. For the public bet percentage, 87% of the bets, 97% of the money towards the Nuggets. For the point spread, 54% of the bets and 52% of the money for the Nuggets to cover. And for the total, 95% of the bets, 96% of the money towards the over 213.5. For the injury report for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Karl Anthony Towns is working his way back. He is not ready yet. And for the Denver Nuggets, we have Aaron Gordon currently questionable in this game, all right? So both of these teams are on the second game of a back-to-back. They played on Tuesday, and now they're going to be facing each other on Wednesday here, all right? So the first three matchups between, I don't know why they say Nuggets won series. They already gave the Nuggets the win. So let me see. Nuggets won the second one and lost it. They got this all messed up. So well, I'm gonna tell you the correct one. All right. So as of right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves are up 2-1 against the Denver Nuggets. Okay, they won the first game and they won the third game. The totals in those games were 199, 227, and 209. Okay, so a mixed bag here of over and under. Both of these teams are on win streaks. Minnesota beat Washington and Denver just beat Utah. Okay, so this game is at home in Denver, and this is for all the marbles here for the one spot. It gives them a nice cushion going into the end stretch run of the season. All right, if we're looking at against the spread numbers, the Denver Nuggets are 4-8 against the spread with no rest. And for the Timberwolves, they are 6-6. So nothing really pulling me each way here. I'm going to be going with the better team in this aspect, the healthier team. If we get Jamal Murray, Jokic, I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets at home on the money line at a minus 225. If you want to get cute with the point spread, go ahead. I think at least the game, I imagine, will be close enough. So if you want a better value, then take the Timberwolves plus 5.5. I'm in this type of spot. I'm going to just give me the win. The minus 200 is fine. I can make that a parlay piece anyway. Denver Nuggets on the money line. If you want the spread, then 5.5 for the Timberwolves. And we're going to be going with the over 213.5. With no rest, the Timberwolves are 10-2 towards the over. So I expect a lot of points to be scored in this game here. More like the second game that was at 227. So give me the over and give me the Nuggets money line. Next game up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies here, 27-52, going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 46-33. Looking at the current odds, we have big, huge favorites here in the Cleveland Cavaliers at a minus 2,000, with the Grizzlies on the comeback at a plus 950. The current point spread is at 16.5. And the total points here is set at 209.5. For the public bet percentage, 88% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the Cavs. For the point spread, 58% of the bets, 54% of the money towards the Grizzlies to cover. And for the total, 93% of the bets, 95% of the money towards the over 209.5. All right. For the injury report here for the Memphis Grizzlies, same old same here. They pretty much thrown in the white towel for the season. Jaren Jackson Jr. out for the year. Desmond Bane out for the year. Lamar Stevens questionable, and Jake LaRavia is going to be questionable for this game as well. All right. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they got Donovan Mitchell back. That's a positive. But Dean Wade is questionable, and Sam Merrill is doubtful in this game. These two teams have already played once earlier in the season. That was a 7-point win by the Cleveland Cavaliers. That total was 209. All right. Now, the recent games here, Grizzlies have been struggling. And Grizzlies are in the second game of a back-to-back here. So that doesn't bode well for them. They just lost to the San Antonio Spurs. Cavaliers have been struggling as well, losing 4 out of the last 5 games and a 3-game losing streak as well. So this is a spot where they can exercise some demons here. Cavaliers, huge favorites here. I'm not saying they cover that 16, but this is a type of game that you expect them to probably win by 20 points because they've been struggling so much. They need to get on the right track right before the playoffs and have something to look forward to. A game that be like, you know what? We got everything together. Offense is clicking. Donovan Mitchell's back. So I'm going to give out the -9.5, but I can clearly see the Cavaliers winning by 16. That's just a crazy number, though. So we're going to take the spread of the Cavs, -9.5, and we're going to go with the under 209.5. Under 209.5. If we're looking at the over/under numbers with no rest, the Memphis Grizzlies are 2-10. 2-10 towards the under. This team I expect them to be gassed. Cavaliers going to put a stomping on them. They're not going to put up much of any points at all. This could be a clean. This is going to be a clean sweep. So moneyline Cavs, cover of the point spread as well, in the under 209.5. Next game up, we have the Dallas Mavericks 49-30 going up against the Miami Heat 44-35. Both these teams are coming off back-to-backs here. This is the second game of a back-to-back for the Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks beat the Charlotte Hornets, blowout win by 26. Heat, a close win there against Atlanta, and that went into overtime. So that doesn't bode well for the Miami Heat here in this type of spot. Second game of back-to-back, just had an overtime game. It's already making you lean towards the Dallas Mavericks. So looking at the current odds, we have the Dallas Mavericks on the money line, road favorites, -190, with the Miami Heat on the comeback, road underdogs, +155. Point spread is at a 4.5, and the total is set at 218.5. For the public bet percentage, 69% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the Dallas Mavericks. For the point spread, 71% of the bets, 81% of the money towards the Dallas Mavericks to cover. For the total, 94% of the bets, 93% of the money towards the over 218.5. All right. For the injury report for the Dallas Mavericks, we have a Josh Green questionable and Derek Lively questionable as well. For the Miami Heat, we're waiting on news for Rozier and Duncan. As of right now, Rozier and Duncan Robinson are questionable for this game. Okay. These two teams have already played earlier in the season. That was a 6-point win by the Dallas Mavericks. That total was 222 points in that game. So I already gave you the fact that the Heat are in the second game of back-to-back, just like the Mavericks, but the Heat had to go into OT. So that does not bode well for them. If we're looking at against the spread numbers with no rest, the Dallas Mavericks are 10-3 against the spread. So that I love that number right there. Heat with no rest are 6-5 against the spread, but just the Dallas Mavericks have been dominant on the road and dominant with no rest as well. So we're going to be going with the Dallas Mavericks on the money line. Give me Dallas Mavericks to cover the 4.5. And for the total, we're going to go under 218.5 for the total. Miami Heat with no rest for over/under is 4-8 towards the under. I think this is a tightly contested game. I think Dallas Mavericks pull away in the fourth quarter, cover that spread, and there's not a lot of points in here. Both of these teams are tired, gassed. Probably the total will be around that 200 range, 205. So give me the Mavericks money line, Mavericks cover, and under 218.5. Next up, Atlantic Division matchup here. Toronto Raptors 25-54. This is their second game of a back-to-back as well. Going against the Brooklyn Nets 31-4-8. 48, 31-48. For the odds here, Brooklyn Nets -500 on the money line with the comeback of the Toronto Raptors at a +375. For the point spread, it is set at 10.5 for both sides, and the total is set at 218.5. For the public bet percentage here, 85% of the bets going towards the Nets, but 88% of the money is on the side of Toronto to win. For the point spread, 71% of the bets, 73% of the money towards Toronto to cover this 10.5. That's a huge number there for the cover. For the total, 89% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the over 218.5 for the Nets and the Raptors here. Looking at the injury report, Emmanuel Quickly is questionable. Grady Dick left the game previous, so he's going to be questionable as well. For the Brooklyn Nets, we're waiting on news. Actually, no, we got news. We got news on Cam Johnson. He's going to be probable. Nick Claxton is going to be probable. And Dennis Smith Jr. is going to be out. All right. So missing one backup point guard, but they're getting back Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton. That bodes well for the Brooklyn Nets. These two teams have already played 3 times already. The Brooklyn Nets have beaten the Raptors 2 out of those 3 times. For the total of those 3 games, we had a 218, a 214, and a 184. All right, those are the totals so far between the Nets and the Raptors. This is the 4th and final matchup here. Raptors continue to struggle. They just got blown out by the Indianapolis Pacers. And if we're looking at some numbers here, as home favorites, the Nets are 10-5. 10-5 against the spread as home favorites. With the Raptors, with no rest, they are 5-8. 5-8 against the spread, under 500 here. So the 10.5 is, you know what I'm going to say, 9.5. Give me the 9.5. I don't want to lose by a point or half a point, nothing like that. Give me the 9.5 for the Brooklyn Nets. I expect them to win this game anyway, but the value here is I'm gonna take the spread at a -9.5 for the over/under. The Nets at home favorites are 9-6 towards the over, and the Raptors, with no rest, are 7-5 towards the over. So we're gonna go with the over 218.5 and the cover of the Brooklyn Nets -9.5. Next game up, we have the Orlando Magic 46-33 going up against the Milwaukee Bucks 48-31. All right, we're looking at the standings right now for the Eastern Conference, Bucks and Magic. So 2 games separate the Bucks and the Magic, and you got the Knicks in the middle. So this is a crucial game for Milwaukee Bucks so they can make sure they stay at that 2 spot. The Knicks are right on their heels. Okay, for the odds, you have home favorites here. Well, it's pretty much a pick 'em. The Milwaukee Bucks at -115 with the comeback of the Orlando Magic at a -105. Point spread is at 1.5 on both sides, and the total is set at 216.5. All right. So for the public bet percentage, 69% of the bets towards Milwaukee, 99% of the money towards Milwaukee. For the point spread, 86% of the bets and 85% of the money towards the Bucks to cover. And for the total, 96% of the bets, 92% of the money towards the over 216.5. For the Orlando Magic, injuries here. Franz Wagner is currently questionable. He did miss the game on Tuesday. Like I said, both these teams are on the second game of a back-to-back against each other. Giannis Antetokounmpo is the big injury news for the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, he left the game on Tuesday. They're saying, it was a non-contact injury, which doesn't bode well automatically. He was helped off the court. They're saying it's a calf injury, but obviously the way it looked, he was grabbing his Achilles. So they're going to go through MRIs for both calf and Achilles and see what happens, but it does not bode well, and he's most likely not going to play this game, all right? He's going through testing. He's not going to be back the next game. So looking at the 2 matchups here, they already played twice this season. They have split the season series 1-1. The totals in those games against for Milwaukee and Orlando, 209 in game 1 and 234 in game 2. All right. Now, a lot of people are going to be hopping on. I imagine this percentage of bets and money is going to switch overnight, going more towards the Orlando Magic with the injury news to Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I'm going to be sticking with the Milwaukee Bucks here, all right? I'm going to be sticking with the Milwaukee Bucks, going against the grain. Give me the Bucks on the money line at -115. No need to touch that point spread. And for the total here, with no rest, the Bucks are 7-6 towards the over. Same thing with the Magic. They are 7-6 towards the over with no rest. I still think points will be scored in this game, even without Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hopefully, Franz Wagner can come back and help the offense of the Orlando Magic. But this is a Milwaukee Bucks team that shoots threes at a very high clip. Malik Beasley, Damian Lillard, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez. I can go on and on with the three-point shooters here for the Milwaukee Bucks. So give me the over 216.5 in the money line of the Milwaukee Bucks in a must-win game here. Next game up, we have the San Antonio Spurs, 20-59, going up against the OKC Thunder here, 54-25. Thunder have to keep pace with the Denver Nuggets and with the Minnesota Timberwolves. One of those two teams are going to lose, and they can take advantage of that, bumping themselves up to that 2 spot. All right, so current odds right now, Thunder, big home favorites at a -1400 with the comeback of the Spurs at a +800. Point spread is at 15.5, and the total is set at 227.5. Public bet percentage here, 100% of the money on the Thunder, 92% of the bets towards the Thunder. For the point spread, 73% of the bets and 80% of the money towards the Spurs to cover. And for the total, 227.5, 94% of the bets, 94% of the money towards the over 227.5. All right. For the injury report of the San Antonio Spurs, Keldon Johnson, questionable. Cedi Osman, questionable. And Devin Vassell is out for the year. For the Thunder, we're waiting on news for Gordon Hayward. He's currently questionable. He did miss the game on Tuesday. All right. These two teams have already played 3 times already. The totals in these games have been 210, 254, and 250. So big numbers here other than that first game for the Spurs and Thunder when they go up against each other. If we're looking at no rest, over under, it is 9-3 towards the over for the Thunder, and for the Spurs it's 7-4 towards the over. This is with no rest, right? Both of these teams, second game of a back-to-back, they're still putting up points. They're not tired, they're young, and they're putting up major points here. I love the over of 227.5. Grab it right now. When I saw it about like 30 minutes ago, it was at 226, so it already moved up another 1.5. So grab the over right now of this game at 227.5. For against the spread numbers here, Spurs are 5-7 against the spread, and the Thunder are 7-6 against the spread. So it's very close here, but this is a big number, and I'm liking what the Spurs are doing in each and every game. Like I said, this is the Victor Wembanyama tour here to finish the season. He's playing hard. He's putting up stats. And they're playing very competitive despite the fact they're missing a lot of guys. So give me the Spurs at a +15.5 and give me the over 227. Last but not least, we have the Phoenix Suns here, 46-32. LA Clippers 50-28. They are playing right now. This is going to be the second game of a back-to-back facing each other between the Suns and the Clippers. Right now, the LA Clippers are up by 11 points with 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go. So you know what I like to happen in back-to-backs. One way goes this way, the other happens the opposite on the next day. So Phoenix Suns here on the odds here. We have Suns at a -1.5. It opened up at 5.5 and went down 4 points here. People are reacting to this first game. Clippers on the comeback is at +1.5. This is a pick'em game right here for the spread of the Suns and the Clippers. For the total, it is set at 227.5. It opened up at 230. It fell down 3 points, okay? So this is a pick'em matchup as of right now for the Suns and the Clippers. All right, for the Suns injury report, as of right now, Jusuf Nurkic, questionable. He did miss the game on Tuesday. We're not sure yet. There's no confirmation if Nurkic is going to miss the game on Wednesday. For the Clippers, James Harden missed the game on Tuesday, so we're going to wait and see. He's currently questionable for the game on Wednesday, and Kawhi Leonard has been sitting out for the past 3 games. Wait on news if they're going to upgrade him to be improbable. All right, so I can imagine the Clippers are going to win this first matchup here with 3 minutes left, and they're up double digits. I'm going to be going with the Phoenix Suns in this game, this second game of the back-to-back between the Suns and the Clippers. The question is about the over-under, all right? I'll be going with the under 227.5 between these two teams. I think they're going to they beat each other up in the first game. They're going to be low energy in this one, and that 227 is going to hit. The under is going to hit already in the first game. Now you're talking about the second game of back-to-back. You might be sitting out more guys. Give me the under 227.5 and give me the Suns on the money line, all right? So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other plays, any other props. Do you disagree or do you agree with my plays for the Wednesday Slate? Let me know in that comment section down below. If you want to join the community that we're building on Patreon, sign up to that link provided down below. And I'll be back with another video very soon, all right? Peace out, guys.